Hello, audience. I am Austin, and I am waiting for the other admin, Corey, to get back from the restroom. And while I do that, I'm going to play Worms Armageddon. Oh. So, our third admin, Harley, well, he couldn't make it. Oh, here comes Corey. Admin.
Have you ever had one of those moments where you look in the mirror and you just sort of say to yourself, I'm looking sexy today?
Yes, maybe.
Well, that sounds kind of awkward that way, but just realizing that you look good.
Yeah.
Because I always had issues with thinking I wasn't attractive because girls ran from me, and yeah.
Hey Corey, have you ever had one of those awkward moments where you go to the bathroom and you come back and then the other person starts recording without you?
I think I have just now.
Yes, we're
So that was the perfect thing for me to say when I came back then, wasn't it?
Yeah, I figured you'd say something funny. So I mentioned that my name, I'm here. I mentioned that Harley couldn't make it. And I mentioned you were in the bathroom.
Alrighty then. So everybody knows my elimination habits. But that's okay. I forgive you. And I think that is kind of awkward that it seems like when I come back from the bathroom is when I think of something funny to say.
Every time.
It's probably just because I'm leaving the computer and I have a chance for my mind to refresh. It's probably any time, not just the bathroom.
Yeah, my game will not load. I'm irritated.
So is this going to be the podcast or like a behind the scenes?
Oh, I was going to do the podcast.
That's fine then.
Okay, so while I try to figure out why this isn't working, what are some of the things we were going to talk about?
Well, I was going to just go ahead and go over what our plans were for this channel and everything for our show.
Right.
The main thing I wanted to emphasize was the fact that we weren't going to be fake. We're just doing this channel to enjoy ourselves and to have fun, and if it makes other people laugh and they have fun watching us, that's great. But we're not in it for thousands and thousands of subscribers or for earning money or anything like that. If money comes, that's just a bonus, and we'll probably just use it to help make the channel better. And I'm not looking for it. And that's also another thing, is that I'm not ever going to script any of my jokes, because that would just make us fake, and I don't like the idea of being considered fake.
My team got deleted somehow. I'm sad.
So, the biggest insult that I've seen on YouTube is when a YouTuber is considered fake because they script their jokes or they make a lot of money and do their YouTubing as a job. So I didn't want that to happen to us if we ever did become famous. If we don't, that's fine, because we're just having fun. But what I'm trying to say is that I refuse to be fake. So we're never...
fat phony!
Yeah, that.
You're a phony!
So we're pretty much never going to script our jokes. Technically we scripted one joke, and that was that list of tags that I used in the last episode. Technically that wasn't scripting, though. That was just something randomly came to my mind, and I saved it for later. It's like the same thing as when we think of a joke in the podcast. It's just that I didn't think of it while we were recording. It's the closest thing to scripting I'm ever going to do.
Yeah.
We're not going to write a script for our whole podcast and try to make everything as hilarious as possible. And that's why there's a lot of times where we're not funny, is because we're busy trying to think of something to say.
Keeping it real, keeping it real.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you like us, that's great. If you don't, sorry.
Get over it. Subscribe anyway. We like your subscriptions.
Yeah, because after I just said that we're not here to get thousands of subscriptions.
Shut up. We like subscriptions and likes. And we're attention whores, but we're not going to beg you.
Yeah, I mean, it's great if you enjoy it. If you enjoy it, then by all means, stick around. But if you don't enjoy it, I'm not going to force you. You can have better things to do with your time than to sit here being bored with us. And we're the only ones on the recording. We can't see you, so it's not going to hurt our feelings.
Right. Your hurtful comments might, but it's okay. We'll get over it.
The swelling will go down. So yeah, that's the serious moment. And now, Flaming Dr. Pepper.
Yeah. I have a bad feeling I'm about to get raped. And no.
I was about to say that's kind of awkward because I can't see your screen.
Oh, I just got raped. A worm crawled over my head. And I'm not even joking either. Okay, it just crawled right over my head.
Oh no.
What was his name? Oh, Harley's about to get raped by mine.
So,
Harley died. That was fast.
What were the other things we were going to talk about?
What was it?
We were going to talk about... Oh, we were going to mention our Facebook page for anybody that is interested.
Yeah. At the bottom of every video we do, I have the link to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Adminsanity.
And it's not just a page where we post our videos again, because that'd be ridiculous. That's the whole point of having YouTube.
Yeah.
We're using it as an extra content sort of page. More stuff that we do for entertainment. Like one of the main things we've been doing lately is creating Adminsanity memes. And we intend to do that as long as we can think of them. And I've been thinking of like half a dozen a day. So I think we'll have plenty for a long time.
Yeah.
I mean, we're on, what, day 5 now? And we have... let's see, how many photos do we have?
Way too many. Which is a good thing.
I wish it would give us a number. Because now I'm going to have to do math, and I hate doing math.
Oh, sad day.
Oh gosh, it's so many that when I zoom out of the page, I still have to scroll up and down.
Yeah, that's awesome, though.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 4 is 32. We've got 33 memes.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Well, that's 33 photos. Not all of them are in the memes album.
Right.
But and we didn't create all of them, but we created most of them. There's like 1 or 2 that we borrowed just because I thought they were hilarious.
Yeah, I borrowed a couple, too.
And these will probably be a lot funnier when Adminsanity becomes popular. Because right now they're probably not that entertaining because we're just a bunch of dorks. But anyway, yeah, so there's that. We'll be posting memes every time we think of them and as fast as we can create them. And maybe we'll just post random jokes every now and again.
I just got a weird idea, and it'd be awesome.
What's that?
And you know how all memes are pictures?
Yeah?
Why don't we do memes that are videos?
Video memes? How are we going to do that?
I don't know, but I'll figure it out.
Just because we have to be different?
Yes. And it'd be awesome.
That's fine.
Or yeah, we can make them, oh, you just died, Corey. So we could do little short video clips and make them GIF files, so that way people can post them, and when people look at them, it'll animate. That'd be awesome.
Okay, when we figure that out, I guess we'll post some, so stay tuned for that.
It's easy. Some people already do that, but it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not what you're thinking.
So, Some other things we're going to talk about.
Since I just looked at one of these memes, I'm going to comment that the Morpheus meme, ever since I saw a particular one on Facebook, I can't unsee it when I look at his face. It's because they took his face and they photoshopped so that his features were really, really small, and he had a big head around those features. And because of the shape of his head, it looked like a potato. And the meme said, "What if I told you potato?" and you just can't unsee that because his face is shrunk down into the little into the center of it, and the rest of his head, bulbous and brown, and it looks like a potato. And so now every time I look at a Morpheus meme, I see a potato head.
Sorry I interrupted you. I just did the most epic thing ever.
Well, I'll see it when you finish editing the video, I guess.
Okay, look. It was Austin, which was me, my worm, and another worm. I think it was Insanity Wolf, and it was Insanity Wolf's turn. And there was a mine in between us, and there was no way to get around the mine. So what I did was I took a baseball bat, walked up to the mine, and I hit it with a baseball bat, and the mine went flying. And since I was so close to it, it started going off. And by the time it went off, it hit 3 other worms and killed all 3 of them.
Okay, that's just that's epic. But that's one of those things that you see, like in the movies when they do movies about video games, and they do ridiculous stuff that you can never do in a video game. Because that shouldn't have even happened. That's like when you see them hit grenades out of the air or something.
Yeah. I knew you could do it, but I didn't think it was going to be that awesome.
Well, I see you've made a lot of progress in your own theory.
Drowning worm. I think Corey's mom is interrupting our podcast. Yeah! I think he done muted himself. Okay, so some other things we're going to talk about. We were going to talk about some of the first video games we ever played. Our childhood, pretty much.
Well, thank you for making me sound like a little kid that my mom interrupted. But for clarification, I only just recently turned 18, so it's not like I should be living on my own already. And I'm still...
Hey, I'm 20 and I live with my parents still. So.
Yeah, so if nothing else, you're worse than I am.
Shut up! I blame the economy.
Yeah, these days the economy can be blamed for a lot of things, and then the government can be blamed for the economy. But anyway, so yeah, what we were going to talk about a few things about video games, because originally that was the idea. We were going to be a video gaming podcast. That's why Austin always puts a screenshot of him playing video games while we talk, because we don't have anything else better to put on there. Yeah, so
what I was starting to get into was some of the first video games we ever played.
Yeah, we were going to go over some of our favorites and some of the oldies but goodies. I can't believe I just said that.
Do I have to go find a picture of some oldies and some goodies?
Oldies, you find like a shriveled up old person? Like a couple of old women sitting on a bench or something? But anyway,
I think there is some candy. I think there's some candy. One candy is called oldies and one candy is called goodies. But I may be wrong.
Goodies is I know there's a goodies. It's like a vitamin thing, like a vitamin C powder or something like that.
Yeah, I'll figure
but
it out.
Yeah, who cares? Anyway, yeah. So you can go ahead and talk about the first video game that you remember ever playing.
Yeah.
Nostalgia.
Nostalgia hour. Oh wait, our videos aren't anywhere near an hour. But anyway,
it's an expression.
So some of the first video games that I ever played, as far back as I can remember, I didn't grow up with Nintendo or Super Nintendo. The first game console I ever got that I can remember was a PlayStation 1. And the first game I ever remember getting for it was Crash Bandicoot, which I will also be playing in some of our podcasts.
Yeah, well, we'll all be playing it eventually because we intend to do sort of a Let's Play type thing, but we'll get to that also. Anyway, so yeah, I liked Crash. I didn't get to play it that much, so I'm probably going to suck at it when we actually do it. But yeah, the PlayStation wasn't my... Well, it wasn't something that came into my household for some reason. I guess money or something. But we had a Super Nintendo for some reason. It had been outdated for a long time. I think the Super Nintendo went out with, what, the 80s? Early 90s? And I was born in 94, so that shows how old that was. The first game I remember playing was the Super Mario World. And that was a great game. I mean, I sucked at it because I was a little kid, and I suck at video games now anyway, so... Yeah, it was still fun to play, though. I still love Mario just because of that. And then I did eventually...
No! Damn it.
My ears, that hurt.
Sorry.
I did eventually beat it, though, when I was, like, 13, I think. And that was cool. So, yeah, that's my childhood.
Okay, so, like, some of the games we grew up with, that we ended up playing together, Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah, I mostly watched you play that one, and I still remember bits and pieces of that.
It was, yeah, pretty much my favorite game. I beat it when I was, like, 8 or 10. I was really young. I was surprised.
I didn't get a lot of games growing up, so I really didn't get into video games until I was about 12. And that was when I got a PS2 for my birthday. And very first game.
GameCube.
Yeah, oh yeah, GameCube. I got that when I was around 9, I think, for Christmas. And got some great games, including Spyro Enter the Dragonfly. I can't talk all of a sudden. My tongue is going crazy.
It's okay. I'm sick, so I can't really...
So yeah, Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, Rayman Arena, I think Wallace and Gromit Project Zoo or something like that. And I think there was one more, but I can't remember. Oh, and then the only thing I've ever won in a sweepstakes back when they did Foxbox or Kids WB or whatever it was, when Kirby was on TV, I won the Kirby Air Ride video game in a sweepstakes when it first came out, and that was awesome. That's still one of my favorite games. It's hilarious.
Which reminds me, which is funny, is since those was the first games you ever got, pretty much. You said Spyro and Rayman. Those were a couple of the games that I had for the PlayStation. Not the exact same games, but like the first Rayman and the first Spyro.
Yeah.
Those were a couple of games I grew up with.
Yeah, those were great. So, yeah, and then when we met, which was a long freaking time ago.
I was 8 and you were 6.
Something like that. Yeah, you were in 3rd grade, I think.
Yeah. 2001.
So we started out with Game Boy stuff, didn't we? We played Pokemon Sapphire and Ruby.
Yeah, I didn't get a Game Boy until I graduated 4th grade.
Okay, so that would have been around the time we were playing video games together. We did Pokemon. I got Pokemon Sapphire, and he got Pokemon Ruby, and that shows how old we are too, because that.
Well, actually, I started off with Sapphire.
I thought you had Ruby.
I got Ruby later, but I had Sapphire.
Okay, yeah, and then I got Sapphire, and that was when you got Ruby. Yeah, I was always behind the times, and that made me mad. Yeah, so we played Sapphire and Ruby. We both beat the games, and then we would battle, and that was always fun because that was one of the few things that I could compete in and actually win sometimes.
Yeah, no, it was funny because when I started off, I wanted to be different, so I didn't choose a starter, or I chose a starter Pokemon, but I did not use it all the time.
Huh.
Instead, I caught. Well, you remember I caught Tailo, and I used.
Oh yeah, Tailo became your favorite, and evolved into Swellow, and that was like your best one.
Yeah, Swellow became level 100 before any other Pokemon did.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like level 80 when all your others were around level 60 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Which really, that's how I think Pokemon should be played, is instead of having a starter Pokemon like everybody else does, get your favorite Pokemon.
Or at least go catch something, and instead of having to choose between 3, have a bigger choice. I think they made a game like that recently. I haven't gotten to play the new ones though.
Yeah, I haven't either. I don't really care to, honestly.
I'm curious, just because I want to see what the gameplay's like, because they're supposed to have new battle stuff. Yeah. But I don't like the new Pokemon.
Yay, I win! I was the last surviving worm.
So we did Pokemon, we did Final Fantasy VII. Even though I didn't play, I watched you play. I wouldn't have been able to win anyway. We did Final Fantasy X, which was fun, even though a lot of people didn't like it.
I love Final Fantasy X. I don't care what anybody says. It's a good story. It's straightforward. It has a lot of extra stuff. It's not ridiculous like Final Fantasy XII. I don't have to spend 120 hours spinning Final Fantasy XII.
I thought we liked Final Fantasy XII. I like 12. It's ridiculous in how big it is. It's kind of funny because I think Square Enix always got criticized for making their games too linear, and then they made 12 and it was too non-linear. You know, it was
too expansive.
It's too much of a sandbox type thing.
I like it, but I don't like it because it's.
I like that it's non-linear, but I don't like that it's so huge.
I couldn't even keep up with what I was supposed to be doing. It was just so.
Yeah, I like the combat style because I got sick of turn-based because I played Pokemon and Final Fantasy and all those games, so I got sick of turn-based. And then I this is kind of skipping ahead, but when we played Kingdom Hearts and had the real time, I liked that a lot better, and so Final Fantasy XII felt a lot like that.
Now, what I'm waiting on is Final Fantasy Versus 13, and it's going to have, or it's supposed to have, the concept like Kingdom Hearts does.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Kingdom Hearts was their best game yet as far as combat goes, because it was the most real. It didn't have a lot of extra nonsense, because either they had turn-based or they had the gambits or whatever they are in 12, which doesn't even make sense as a name because that's not what gambit means. But anyway, and then they have that weird auto thing in 13 where you have to wait. You have to wait for the combat gauge to fill, and you have to pick your moves beforehand. And it just didn't make any sense to me.
I can't stand 13. 13 was.
I like the story, but I hated
the graphics.
Yeah, the story and the graphics were great, but I hated the combat.
That's the problem with every Final Fantasy, with every game they make. They can't do all 3 and have it perfect. It's either there's something wrong with a part of it, while the other 2 are good. It
usually narrows down to story and combat, I think.
Yeah, it's like if the story's good, the combat sucks. If the combat sucks, the story's good. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, really, to me, the first 10 Final Fantasies, like in like the actual numbers, I'm not counting Tactics or Crystal Chronicles or anything like that.
Crystal Chronicles, we'll get to that in a minute.
All those games, those were the best ones. After that, it just got shitty. Like 10-2. You can forget that. It was good,
I played 10. I played part of 10-2, and I just couldn't stick with it. I got sick of it.
I beat it, but it's good. But it's just, and it didn't have that same linear feel like 10 did. So they did step up on that part, but it got a little too ridiculous.
Yeah, it seemed kind of silly to me, all the costumes and everything. But anyway, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles was another game that we played together. That was one of the first games that I got for the GameCube. I hated the fact that you had to play multiplayer, you had to buy those connector cords for Game Boys, because that was before the SP, and so we had Game Boy Advance with AA batteries that we had to constantly replace because we'd spend 6 hours at a time playing Crystal Chronicles.
Okay, that reminds me. We got to start doing more podcasts. We got to do Let's Plays for Crystal Chronicles.
Yeah, we'll do that. Because I never got to beat it, and you took it away from me and beat it.
You were with me when I beat it.
I don't remember it.
You fell asleep though. You were too tired to play, and you gave up on it because we got to the final boss and he was ridiculously.
Yeah, because we couldn't even figure out how to hurt him. But anyway, so yeah, Crystal Chronicles. Crystal Chronicles is so much of my childhood. That was amazing. I could get over the fact that we had to buy batteries by the bucket load, and that I had to have 3 different connector cables just so that everybody could play. Because you, me, and Ty would play, your cousin.
Yeah.
And
I don't care. That's a good game.
Yeah, I loved the customization, how you made your character. That was one of the big things, is being able to create a character that was relevant. Because, any game you can make almost any game you can change how your character looks and things like that. But then on this one, everything you chose affected it. Your race affected all of your combat. It affected your armor and your weapons, which affected your combat style. You can choose.
It also affected which foods you like and don't.
Yeah,
like.
And so then you had to be looking for certain ones when you found them, and then if you didn't like them, then one of your friends might. You kind of had to trade back and forth,
which was fine,
Yeah, because we would find stuff that was useful for one of us and stuff that was useful for the other, and that way, when you found something that you couldn't use, more than likely your friend could use it.
It's not like we were running around as 3 well, we did to try that though. We'd run around as 3 clavets, and then we would find something that was not relative to any of us.
Yeah, and it got kind of irritating when we were all fighting over the same stuff, because you had to find like blueprints or whatever they called them to make your armor and weapons.
Yeah, designs.
Yeah, designs. And then whenever we would find one of those really good ones after you beat a boss battle, we'd all fight over it. And then you always had the best stuff, is what I remember, because you got Excalibur and a really good shield, and then I got Rune Blade, which was a little bit weaker than Excalibur, but was still really good when we were both playing as Clavets. Or Clavats, or however it's pronounced. But anyway, so talking about customization, you could choose what profession your family had, and that affected discounts and stuff that you got in trade. And I think it also affected how what they gave you when you came back home. Like you chose to be a merchant, so your dad would always give you money. And then I think I was I don't remember what I was, but it's something to do with farming or something. And I would always get food. And then I liked that it wasn't the one race was the best, and then the others were just kind of lopsided. They all had good points.
They also have their weaknesses.
Yeah, but like usually in a game, the humans are the best, or the elves are the best, or whatever, depending on the game. And then the others just have too big of a weakness to be compensated by their strength.
Pretty much.
But then you had useful stuff that made every type of character appealing. Like the loyalties were huge in attack, so even though they didn't have much defense, they would destroy everything. That's how I remember it anyway. And then the Clavets were defense based, I think, so that they could tank, which was weird because they looked the weakest almost, besides the loyalties. But they were the best tanks. The Selkies were ridiculously fast, and what else did they do besides speed? They were just good at hit and run tactics, I think.
Yeah.
And
it was just speed boost.
And then the Ukes had all the magic abilities, and they were epic. It was almost like a board game RPG within a video game, now that I think about it.
Yeah. Alright, we got about 30 seconds left.
Oh wow, we spent way too much time on that. There's no way we could extend this, could we? We just have to make it 2 parts.
Oh, I've already extended it to 30 minutes.
Oh crap.
So,
we'll have to make it a two-parter then. Just stop recording and then hit recording again, I guess.
yeah, we could do a 2-part.
Yeah, because I've got way too much to say.
All right. So we'll continue this in part 2.
Hi.
Corey. Too soon. Too soon, man. Too soon. You got 5 seconds.
Oh, I didn't know you were going to say anything again.
2 seconds.
Hi.